I have to admit, I was kind of worried about this movie at first, but Bill and Ted Face the Music, it's excellent, dude. Don't forget to smash that like button. And if you haven't subscribed already, click that subscribe button. Trust us, it'll be worth it. Thank you. What is up, everyone? I'm Chris Knight, and you are watching The Real Review 3000, here with another movie review? Yes, it's been a while since we've done one of these, but before we do that, let's get to the business at hand. This number right here is at 4163. We're trying to get that number up to 5,000 subscribers by January 1st of 2021, and you guys can help. How can you help me? If you're not already subscribed, guys, please do me a favor. Smash that subscribe button. Smash the like button. Hit the bell so you know when we're coming out with new stuff. Consider helping us out with a PayPal donation. Reach out to us on Twitter at chrisknight5150. You can email us, chrisknight@therealreview3000.com. We're on Patreon, Facebook, Instagram, all of that stuff. Everything you need to know is down in the description box below. So, this movie review is on Bill and Ted Face the Music. Real simple. This is the most excellent way you could finish out a trilogy. I'm just going to say we find our characters where you'd expect them to be, and they end up where we want them to be. It's just, I don't know. I just have to say this was so much more than I really thought it could be. And, you know, with all the woke stuff these days and all of that, I was really worried with a lot of the things I saw. But it turned out really awesome. So basically, we meet Bill and Ted. They're still playing music, still trying to come up with stuff. You find out that they faltered and that their band didn't take off like they thought it would after Bill and Ted's Bogus journey. They broke up with Death. Death is gone and all of that. But you meet them basically at this wedding, and the wedding is for Missy. They're both of their former stepmothers, and to Ted's younger brother, Deacon. Which is kind of weird that would happen, but okay, it seems like that's just how Missy would go. She'd just roll on down to the next ones. But they start playing this song, this really kind of new age song with a theremin and a bunch of other stuff. And basically Ted's dad stops him and says, stop, this is horrible. And after they're packing up, Ted's dad says, you know, you guys really should just go get jobs. This isn't going to happen. This song you're supposed to write, it's just never going to happen. And Ted and Bill both kind of say, no, we got to keep going. And that's basically where we start. Then we get to this point where we meet Bill and Ted's wives and their daughters, and basically Ted basically says to Bill, you know, I can get money for my guitar, and I think, you know, basically we're done. He doesn't say that per se. He just says, or Bill says, are you saying that this means, and he's like, yeah, I think I am. So basically at that moment, Kelly, who is Rufus's daughter, and Kelly, by the way, is a nice little homage to George Carlin because that's his daughter's name. So Kelly is Rufus's daughter, so that works out really well. She comes from the future and says, come with me. You got to go meet the great leader or the supreme leader. And they go, and the supreme leader says, you have, I think it's till, I can't remember the exact time, but till a certain time tonight to write this song and make it happen, because the fabric of time is already starting to split. And Bill and Ted are like, okay, and they're given all these guitars and stuff, and they're like, they go there and they said, Bill says, hey, why don't we just go steal it from ourselves in the future and bring it back? And Ted says, well, isn't that kind of wrong to steal from somebody? And he says, but we're stealing from ourselves. So they go and they find the original phone booth time machine. They go and they start jumping forward, and they meet themselves at different stages, and they find out that they're dicks, that they're alcoholics, and they're all this stuff in the future, and they're not writing this song, and they find themselves in prison and all this other stuff. And about this time, Kelly goes back, and the daughters of Bill and Ted see that they can help their dad, so they ask to use the time machine because Kelly's got to stay there and wait for this robot that's supposed to kill Bill and Ted. And so Bill and Ted's daughters go and they find all these other musicians from different points in time. They get Jimi Hendrix, Louis Armstrong, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, Ling Lun, I believe is how you say it, Kid Cudi. They start forming this band. And at this one point, they end up in the same time frame, and this robot that's supposed to kill Bill and Ted basically kill everybody else, all the band, their daughters, and they go to hell or to death. And so Bill and Ted then force the robot to kill them, even though they have the song now, which they found from the further, like when they were 80 or something. And they force the robot to kill them, and the robot and them end up down there. They end up basically knowing they have to get out, and the only way to do it is to go to Death. Well, Death has now been demoted, he says, and they have this little spat because Death is still mad that he was kicked out of the band. And they say, well, dude, you were trying to take our name, so we had to sue you and all this stuff. And Bill and Ted's daughters basically talk to Death and say, you're an awesome bassist. We really like this song and that song that you did and this part of that song and all that. And Death kind of backs down. He's like, oh, yeah, that's kind of cool. And so then they go get their dads and say, okay, now apologize to them. So they apologize. They all make up, and it's all great. And they end up going back. They end up finding out that this MP46, which is supposed to be the song, is actually the mile marker where they end up getting this giant traffic jam. And everything's falling apart around them, blah, 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 blah. Everything's falling down around them. And they realize at this point, after they've broken the song, because that's how they got the robot to kill them, they realize that, one, MP46 is just the mile marker, and that's where it's supposed to take place, the whole concert. But they realize that it's their daughters who are really cool with sampling and listen to all sorts of music. So they sample and they pick and choose things that they like, and the dads, Bill and Ted, think that they're really awesome at it. And they realize their daughters are the one that actually made the song. So they start setting up this concert, and then they realize, well, wait, we have to unite the world. And they realized in order to do that, they have to make sure everybody's playing the song. So they go and they set this infinite time in the phone booth, and by doing so, they end up giving instruments to everybody in the world throughout all time. And basically, when they get back to the time they're supposed to play, they get up there, they play, the song happens, everything turns out to be perfect, the world goes back to normal. The Supreme Leader, who thought they weren't going to be able to do it, is happy because they did do it, and that Kelly's right, and everything turns out perfect. But the thing is the way they end this movie, it's really awesome, because the message is that everybody has to work together, and that everybody has something to contribute, and that the world is better with people who are in harmony. And in this time, right now, that is something lost on a lot of people. So this movie really had a touching message at the end. I know it's probably going to fall on deaf ears for a lot of people because they don't like Bill and Ted, but this movie is supremely one of the best ending movies for a trilogy. I don't think they need to do another one, which I know some people have kind of said, oh, they should do another one. I don't think they need to. They wrapped it up really well. It's booked in by Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and Bill and Ted Face the Music and Bogus Journeys right there smack dab in the middle. And now it makes sense because of everything that happened in this movie. So it was literally perfect. With that said, though, I'll give you a score. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I know that everybody's like, well, you said it's perfect. It's perfect for Bill and Ted. It is still Bill and Ted. There's very simplistic on the story. It happens very quick. There's not a lot of world building or anything. You just kind of go with it like you do with most Bill and Ted movies. But this movie was just really a good message. It was done really well. Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter, just not in a bad way. They phone this in because they're so naturally these characters when they want to be, that it feels like they're the appropriate age. It kind of feels like they're run down with life, but they still are Bill and Ted, and it works out really, really well, guys. So I really urge you to pass this on to other people. Tell them, hey, guys, this movie is excellent. Go watch it. Let me know what you think. If you've seen the movie, tell me down in the comments what you thought of it. Thank you for watching, guys. Don't forget, again, smash the like button, hit the bell so you know when we're coming out with new stuff. Help us out with a PayPal donation, and reach out to us on Twitter at chrisknight5150, email, all that fun stuff. Yeah, I mean, just thank you. Thank you, guys. Yeah. All that information and more is down in the description box below. I'm Chris Knight. This has been The Real Review 3000. Be excellent to each other.
Hey guys, thanks for checking us out. Be sure to subscribe to both channels, and make sure to check out our friends in the Fandom Minutes. You can find us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and BitChute, and you can also send us an email at sean@sean-housereacts.com and chrisknight@therealreview3000.com. Be sure to swing by our Teespring store to pick up some awesome merchandise.